Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I'm going live early because we got Mr. T is going to be speaking. I hope he's not speaking yet, but they say on RSBN that he's going to be talking at 10 o'clock starting. But you know how that goes. It might be 10:15 or 10:30 before he starts. And he had an emergency landing. I don't know how many of you all heard about that. Probably every one of you. So I've figured I'd try to get maybe a short live stream in, 45 minutes, maybe an hour. We'll see how it goes. And I hope my voice is coming through nice and clear. I set my studio up in a rush. So I might have to load stuff as I go. So if you all could let me know if my stream is solid once we start getting people to come into the chats. I'm about a half hour early from my usual start time. So, we may not get too many people in, and again, we may. But I can tell you what, I've had this drop off in views and a lot of other things, and I kind of know what's going on there, especially with this UK crackdown. Where they're going after people, putting them in jail. And, hey, we had somebody get sentenced to prison in this country for making a meme that the Hildebeest didn't like and pursued to the bitter end. So, hey, hold on to your hats. You don't know what these people are capable of, what they're going to do. And it's the more upset, the more scared they are, especially watching the polls, the rougher they're going to play. We all know that, right? So anyway, Elon might have to do a rescue mission in outer space. I don't know. We'll have to see. Hi, Sherry. How you doing? Gloria. White Lightning, the cat. 5x5s. Oh, good. Hi, Ronald. How you doing? Debbie, nice to see you. So I am early because we have that rally tonight. And if somebody could check with RSBN as to when Mr. T takes the stage, I will shut the broadcast down and I'll listen to what he's got to say. And I also watched his interview with that young man, Aiden, most of it. Very interesting. I'm surprised. I'm utterly shocked, really. Now, the Aiden guy seemed kind of informed, but some of the people that were watching that stream, a lot of the issues, they had no idea what was being talked about. It's sad, really, how out of touch, a lot of them are. Didn't even know who Fonnie Willis was, didn't understand a whole lot about the first impeachment, but they're young people. They're 21, 20, whatever, 19. Excuse me, I'll have a sip of my coffee. And you got to put it in perspective. I mean, how old were they when this stuff started? I mean, so maybe get them up to speed on some of this stuff. So we'll see how it goes. Hi, David. Listening from Connecticut. Good to hear. Damon's here. Let's see. Yvonne, Ronald. Nice to see you, Ronald. Yeah, hit the thumbs up for me. I appreciate that. That helps the video to get around. So, anyway, I saw on Citizen Free Press where Trump made an emergency landing, but it was told to us pretty quickly that his plane was okay. He was okay. But, it's got to raise a lot of concerns, especially we've talked about in the past. Ted Stevens didn't make it after he was, well, that's a whole nother can of worms. I won't get into it tonight. I don't have a lot of time to talk tonight. We got news to go over. But at least we know Mr. Putin said 70% of all plane wrecks in the U.S. are planned. Okay. So with that in mind, we're glad to hear that Mr. T is doing well. And I might have a screenshot of that report. Like I said, I had to set up my studio real quick to go up early. Anyway, I put up some funny stuff. This guy is not going to live this down easily with the situation as far as his being a blowhard about his service. You know, that's one thing about liberals. They like to act superior, look down their nose, more intelligent, more everything, more brave. You know, they're nothing but a bunch of intellectual cowards and spiritual cowards as far as I'm concerned. And he's proven that to be the case. But this Tim Walsh backs out a VP nomination after learning VPs sometimes have to deploy to dangerous places overseas. Ha ha ha. Hi, Ann. How you doing? A Google account. How you doing? The cat. How you doing? So, good. Let him stew in his juices. He's avoiding questions. Kamala's avoiding questions. Did you see her get confronted by somebody about the debates that are lined up? Here, what's this? They're focusing on, this is the kind of stuff they put out. ABC News. Former President Donald Trump, says he has agreed to an offer from ABC News to debate Vice President Kamala Harris on September 10th. And I saw a half a dozen of these posts on YouTube, none of them mentioning what Trump said. He had arranged 3 for this 4th, the 10th, and the 18th. None of them mentioned the other 2 debates. Not even in passing. And when she gets asked about it, he said, what do you think about debating on the September 4th? And he can't even get the 4th out of his mouth. She said, I've agreed to the 10th, just like was already arranged. You know, with Joe, you crone. But anyway, we're going to keep pounding away at her for her duplicitous behavior and the media for their obfuscation. And, well, it's just another form of lying. And, yeah, speaking of lies, this is Rasmussen Reports. I said, you know, if you get a chance, why don't you look them up on YouTube and subscribe so you don't have to worry about being lied to. And they're reputable, and Trump has vouched for them. I've been looking at Rasmussen Reports for decades, literally decades. And, yeah, you're being lied to about the polls. Kamala Harris is not winning. Latest 2024 Trump v. Harris numbers. And, of course, we know they cheat. We got a guard for that. But at least you'll know the status of things. I put a picture up there of J.D. Vance when he went to see if Kamala was hanging around and why she won't talk to anybody. It's been going on 2.5 weeks, and she hadn't even given a interview of substance or any press conference, and she's just hanging her hat on that September 10th. I mean, we're talking 31 days. So she told one reporter she might do a interview or a press conference toward the end of this month. I mean, well, the ABC News, you know, she's got all the questions. They have all the questions. It's all been worked out. So she has to have her time to rehearse that, you know? Yeah, we're in very scary times. That's true. We're in historic times. Hello, Miss Mendersue. Awaken Trillium. How you doing? Nice to see you all. Just remember that to keep check up on the Rasmussen reports. Give yourself a little sanity, clarity about what's going on, because we will not fail. We will not fail. This is trying to give a form of psychological medical care to a large portion of not only the U.S. population, but the world population that has been psychologically abused, all right, in a high level of illegal warfare campaigns, psychological warfare campaigns. And we got to do it. We got to do it bit by bit. Here's one I like to watch, folks. I check up on it. Red Eagle Politics does a very good job with the polls. And he points out the fact that polls like Bloomberg put these heavily weighted, distorted polls in the averages to throw the averages off and make it look like Kamala and Trump are neck and neck. And they're not. Trump's maintained his solid lead. That's why you saw the rise in Bitcoin. But anyway, here we go. Speaking of that creep Walsh, Chuck Collins put this up. Confirmed. Chuck Callisto put this up. Confirmed. Tim Walsh signed an executive order in Minnesota allowing the big A word, abort, shun, up until birth. Fox News, as a Daily Signal reported, Walsh showcased his radical abortion stance when he signed the Minnesota legislation that includes no limitations on when a woman may end the life of her unborn baby last year. So the more that's going to come out about this guy, we're not going to hear it from the regular news. We're not going to hear it about all his trips to China, his honeymoon in China. Here, we're not going to hear about this right here. Tim Walsh repeatedly hosted a Muslim cleric who celebrated October 7th and shared a pro-Adolf website link. They're not going to talk about that, buddying up with, and of course, now we know even more. We know the reason for him changing the Minnesota state flag to look like that of a predominantly Muslim nation. And then I think about it, well, we knew a lot of stuff about Obama too. And the mainstream didn't report it. They vilified Fox News. And we ended up with a Kenyan communist in office. And everybody thought, hey, we're modern, we're tolerant, He's behind what's going on right now. He's been pulling strings. Obama has been pulling strings on Joe, and people are starting to see it now. So we got to keep pounding away at it. But as I said, I have my reduced audience here in the last couple of weeks. Things have dropped down as far as views, how many times people are shown the videos on YouTube. And I think that has to do with, if you remember about a month or so ago, I got in a little back and forth. And I showed the comments on the screen. I got in a little back and forth with somebody. A lady out of the UK did an opinion piece on YouTube, and I made comments. And I got treated nastily. And I said, wait a minute, you're commenting on my country from the UK. Okay, I can defend my country. I live here. Ever since then, I've not seen a lot of people from the UK that used to come in our comments. I haven't seen them making comments after the videos. I'm sure this is suppressed in the UK. And as we will see as I go on, they are cracking down. They've got over 3,000 people in jail for internet memes and comments. and they're only getting started. And they claim anything that gets put up that they don't like is a terroristic meme. So anyway, I got this meme after I read that thing about Tim Walz signing that bill where women can pretty much do what they want without any fear of repercussions with their babas, right? And I'll say one thing about the Muslim faith. They don't allow any pet to take the attention of, in the form of love, more than the family gets. All right, that's verboten. We all love our pets. I love my cat, and I've had dogs that have, passed away after, 15, 16 years. They were a very big part of my life and stuff, but they never take precedence over your own flesh and blood, your family, okay, over human beings. And so that's certainly one thing I respect of many things of the Muslim faith. As I've said, I've had very close friends who were Muslim. So anyway, we've got these people stuck in outer space, okay? And they were supposed to go up for 8 days. Now it looks like they're going to be up there for months. Let me see what's going on in the chats. But this is in the background of what I just said about the UK. And I'm certain that and it includes our good friends up north in Canada, okay, that the videos aren't getting around, or they're not even allowed to watch content like I put out, which is a traditional conservative view of American values. That's verboten, and also a biblical view. So, yeah, a PR nightmare for them. That's right. A Google account. What is let's see, hit that show at Mountain Man. Some love. Mine is 27. What's yours? Oh, the like button. Yeah. Ha ha ha. Hi, Rubber Toe. Yeah, he is a loser. He's a runt. He's a runt and a loser. But, they said there, wait a second, before I get into that thing about SpaceX, how in the world, well, anyway, here you got this moron. In one breath, nothing says folksy Midwesterner like tampons for boys. And the other hand, he wants to take guns away, like the same type of guns that I carried in combat. A blustering lie and exaggeration. But then in the next breath, he'll say, mind your own damn business. Oh, you want to take my guns? You want my nephew, when he goes to school, to believe that boys need tampons? I think they need to check really good into this guy. They said he was a teacher, okay, back in the 90s. All right, I think it was geography or something like that. And he was also a coach. He said a head coach. And they're even disputing that. He was, I don't know what his story is. But his behaviors, okay, and his philosophy, I don't think somebody like that should be around or allowed around kids. Okay? And how many times do we find out that people who push this kind of ideology have something in their background. Okay? So maybe we'll find out a little something about this guy. We'll see. We shall see. But back to these poor people up in outer space. NASA said Wednesday that astronauts delivered to the International Space Station by Boeing's Starliner could return on SpaceX Crew Dragon in February 2025 if Starliner is still deemed unsafe to return to Earth. Starliner spacecraft launched in June, carrying 2 astronauts to the ISS, International Space Station, in a high-stakes test mission required before NASA can certify the craft for routine astronaut flights. But the mission, initially expected to last about 8 days, has been drawn out far longer by an array of problems with the craft's propulsion system that Boeing and NASA have been scrambling to fix. Okay, well, that's bringing up tons of videos like this. Elon Musk SpaceX may retrieve astronauts stranded on the International Space Station. So, okay, this is the same Elon Musk that they are the World Economic Forum wants to put sanctions on, charge him into international criminal court. Is this the same Elon that UK authorities are talking about extraditing for crimes because he's posting on X things that they don't like? Let's see how brave they are about doing that when he may be the only one who can rescue people from the International Space Station. But things are getting ugly, okay? Big ugly as far as suppressing free speech. The Telegraph put out, "You will be refused bail even if you only watched the riots from the sidelines," a judge warned. So now we got the UK version of a flippin' Ngoron or Murkon. Whether active participant or curious observer, anybody involved in disorder will be locked up, a Belfast court is saying. Okay. Then we have Ian Miles Chong put out, "Your actions online have consequences," warned the British government, who state that you can and will be prosecuted for even retweeting content they find offensive. And here's what you get from uk.gov. "Think before you post," they say. Crown Prosecution Service tweets out, "Think before you post. Content that incites violence or hatred isn't just harmful, it can be illegal." The Crown Prosecution Services takes online violence seriously and will prosecute when the legal test is met, which of course that legal test is all over the place like a Ouija board. Remind those close to you to share responsibly or face the consequences. Your actions online have consequences. So then they put up uk.gov, and Wokeness responded to them. "Think before you post." And Wokeness says 1776 is looking better by the day. If I could find that meme, I would put it up there under my Mountain Man X account. It showed a drawing of the colonists, and it says, in 1776, the British wanted to take our guns. And below that it says, "We SHOT them." That's what we did when they wanted to take our guns. We shot them. Hi, Tracy. How you doing? Sissy, how you doing? Melinda, yeah, they hate him. Raven's Wings. Oh, Google account, be careful. They might extradite you from your hometown. Go face the crown. Well, guess what Elon did? This was about 3 hours ago. Elon just suspended UK government's official X account for threatening to arrest people over social media posts. There they are, uk.gov on X. Your account, okay, account suspended. Ha 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 ha. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. uk.gov. So I wonder if I get any new people in. Yeah, that is a nice screenshot there. Nice screenshot, and we'll see what the ramifications are. What are they going to do? You know they're going to try to issue a warrant, but he's too high. Hey, who's he going to have an interview with on Monday? A 100 million views from that kid Aiden. That doesn't include about a dozen other young creators that were simultaneously live broadcasting the interview. Those tallies that haven't been added up. It would easily be another 50 million. So Elon is going, hi Lone Wolf, is going to be interviewing Mr. T Monday. And we'll see if they bring this up with UK.gov being suspended. Or they might lift the suspension between now and then, I don't know. But they are threatening to extradite anybody. And that reminds me of what I've been saying about the treaties we have. Remember, I said to these people that were participating in abuse of young people online that we should, like that guy Shad Man I was talking about, I put a picture up, making filthy drawings of children, other people's children, and posting them online and having a young fan base. Grooming, P3DO, okay? He's in Switzerland. Bring him out of Switzerland, okay? Belongs in jail. You don't want to play that game? We'll play it. You see this poor fellow right here? This guy right here. He just looks like the average bloke, doesn't he? I say, Gov, he looks like the average bloke. Well, what's this? What is this? You will be refused bail even if you only watch riots from the sidelines, Judge warns. District Judge Francis Rafferty said that someone's presence at a riot makes them involved in the riot, as he refused 2 bail applications. Cameron Armstrong, 18, from Belfast, which was charged with writing. This is the picture that was with the Post. I got this off of Russian television because you ain't going to get it off of UK. You ain't going to get it off of CNN. Was charged with writing in the Conswater area of East Belfast, which saw violent disorder, petrol bomb, fireworks, and different projectiles thrown at police and extensive damage caused to property, the court heard. Armstrong's solicitor said that his client has never come to the attention of the police before. adding, though he admits he was on the periphery, let me make sure I got the right continuation of the article. Wait a minute, where'd it go? Oh, I got to make sure I got the right one. There it is, periphery. Now, he might be the second article, I don't know, of the scene. He denies being involved in any of the disorder. When asked by the judge what he was doing at the scene, the defense solicitor told the court that Armstrong had gone to the area to, quote, have a look, adding that he had left when petrol bombs were thrown. Judge Rafferty said he doesn't have to throw a petrol bomb or brick to be involved in disorder if he is present at disorder. Refusing bail, the judge said anybody involving themselves in this type of behavior, this type of disorder, as an active participant or a curious observer, can expect to be, save for the most exceptional circumstances, remanded into custody, and this defendant is remanded into custody. So you can't even be there unless it's extreme circumstances. Here's another case that they were harping on. I'm sorry, but we need to see, on both sides of the pond, we need to see some judges getting taken off the bench, and in some cases, except the most extraordinary, they need to be remanded into custody. Right, Judge Mercan? But anyway, man jailed in UK for commenting in Facebook posts about riots. I think this is 31-year-old Billy Thompson right here, the picture I have up, was sent to prison for 12 weeks. 12 weeks? Oh, that's 3 months, isn't it? After he replied, quote, filthy bah, and then starts on a post about the police issuing a dispersal order try to prevent protests from becoming violent. See, he didn't use, like I use my Latin American, all right, my Spanish-speaking bastardos, okay? You put that up instead of... But anyway, it also included emojis of an ethnic minority person and a GUN. His lawyer said Billy had made the comment as part of an online Facebook conversation with a family member. The judge found him guilty of encouraging violence and imposed a sentence to discourage the kind of violent behavior such messages encourage. Judge John Temperley, it may be right that the sharing point sentence is a community order for this offense, but I am afraid this has to be viewed within the context of the current civil unrest up and down the country. So, yeah, you're getting put in the joint for filthy bastardos, big deal. But it's enough to put you in jail in the UK, enough to get you extradited. Hey, thank you, Wayne says, please give Mountain Man a thumbs up. I appreciate that so much. Views have been kind of weak here in the last couple of weeks. Help beat the rhythm and give a thumbs up. So, like I said, I got into a little, and not just a head bumping with another YouTube creator out of the UK. I think that put a black mark on me and lowered my presentations in the algorithm. But also, I said at the very beginning of Mr. T, when Mr. T was, they made that attempt on Mr. T's life, I said something that made people mad. I'll get to that in a second. But Mr. T posted this: the life he had and the life he chose. Okay, he could have been enjoying himself for the past. He's been under attack for at least 10 years. Savagely under attack for 8 years. Him and his family, when he could have been living a much different life. But within 24 hours of the attempt on his life, I gave my personal opinion. And I said a number of times, and I could tell by some of the comments, this was a F up. And that's the way I said it, because I don't cuss. I said, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see another post on 17 concerning it. That hasn't happened yet. But we got posts from Dan Scavino and Mr. T himself. But I said this is not something that was planned. Of course, we know the Secret Service, the FBI, and the local police all, to put it nicely, air quotes, dropped the ball. But I was saying, as far as the 17th letter team, as far as MI, which is military intelligence, this was an F up. And that Trump was paid a visit by top members of the military the night it happened. And that they came there with their hat in their hand because it was an F up. And I think that made some people mad. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's because I called somebody a malignant dwarf. Maybe it's because I say some rowdy things sometimes. Not near as rowdy as a lot of stuff. But what did I see? 2 videos today. 2 videos. What's that say? A F up. Shocking new video from Trump assassination attempt reveals. And that's what they were saying in the body cam that we discussed last night. Somebody effed up. So people say, yeah, I'm not watching Mountain Man anymore because he's picking on people. Well, sorry, but I'm not the only one that's thinking that. And I said it a heck of a lot sooner than anybody else. Here you see. This is absolutely disgusting. Julie Banderas, again on the screen, is a F up. Somebody effed up. And that's what I was saying. And I was gentle in my critique last night about the officer that looked over top of the roof and then dropped straight down. I said he wasted a lot of time running out to the right of the building, and the other one standing on a picnic table, nobody screaming, yelling, sounding the alarm, blowing the whistle, putting out a warning shot or honking a horn or doing something. And Greg Kelly did a report that I watched earlier today. He was much harsher in his judgment. Okay, now he's handled firearms, okay. I said he took too long getting that thing out of the case. Why even screw with that? You got a sidearm. You should have been alerting people instead of running around like one of the Three Stooges. And I imitated. Whoop, whoop, whoop. They were untrained and unprepared. I'm not saying they're bad people. But they were flat-footed. And they didn't have it drilled into their brain. The one reason you're here is to protect that man right there that you could hear and see. And they didn't do it. Very poor performance. Watch Greg Jarrett, his report on it. He'll be a lot more harsher than I am. So anyway, I got a copy of the a recording, a really good one, of a dash cam in one of the police cars that was running. And you don't hear nearly the shouting. You hear basically nothing but the shots. And it's a pretty good recording. And it reaffirms much of what we postulated here on this channel. And I'll play that in a future broadcast. So, let me see what's going on in the comments. Has Mr. T taken the stage yet? It is 4 minutes after 10. I've been up for 40 minutes. Yeah, what should have been unpacked? What was he doing? Taking out of the case and fiddle farting with a clip and why run out in the grass and try to look up at the roof? He went to the front of the building where the opposite slope was. No way it shows a total lack of thinking. If you want to see him from the back slope, you back up and look at the back of the building. You don't run to the front and look at the front slope. He's behind the front slope, you dope. But he shouldn't have been doing any of that. He should have been hollering, radioing, screaming for Trump to get down. He saw the gun. He saw that it was a dangerous situation. And the one person he was supposed to protect, you could hear him he was a stone's throw away from the physical body of Donald Trump. And he did not do anything to alert him. And he's not the only one. I'm not just picking on him. A minute man who has a clue. He was about a 5-minute man. He was running all over the place. So has Mr. T taken the stage yet? No. Ann said no. Okay. All right. We'll keep going. Here, I thought this was funny. Taylor Swift jet launches a retaliatory strike on ISIS stronghold because they've been given it is terrible what happened over there with her concert, but then they have been doing bomb threats and everything else on top of that. And the Babylon Bee, they find humor and everything. Yeah, that's who that is, Raven's Wings. That's one of the Bumbalinas, the chick on the end there. I think she's also one that came up to Mr. T like they did a meme of her washing dishes. But anyway, here's a copy of, people are calling it the autopsy report. But it just doesn't say autopsy report. It says Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Butler County Office of the Coroner. An inquisition on the 13th day of July before William Young, says the name Thomas Crooks, blacked out some of the stuff, the date of birth, date of death, time of death, place of death, cause of death, gunshot wound to the head, manner of death, homicide. It's not a report, it's a statement, an official statement of the cause of death. Why is that important? It's like when I parsed what Christopher Wray said about the bullet that hit Trump's ear. Everybody was saying Christopher Wray said it could have been shrapnel or a piece of glass. He did not. He said there is a question. There are questions about whether it was. He was referring to the media reports. And then he said, the bullet that struck President Trump. He did not say shrapnel. I'm just bringing that up because that's the way you have to look at things. Look at exactly what's being said. Then look at the context and make up your mind. This is not an autopsy report. It does not mean he was shot once. Homicide does not mean his life was illegally ended. Whenever somebody loses their life by the hand of another, it's a homicide. There is such a thing as lawful homicide. Self-defense, acting in the line of duty to protect others, many different things. But anyway, it's strictly about the cause of his death. I think he was struck after the initial 8-round volley, 3, then 5, and then I think he got wounded and backed down the roof a small ways, about 2 feet. And then about 10 seconds went by, and the one that, it doesn't have to show every injury. It doesn't have to show every event that happened to the body. You know, if he broke his finger, they wouldn't put that in there. Cause of death, a gunshot to the head. He also had a broken finger, a hangnail, a bullet wound to his thigh. No, they don't have to put all that in there. Obviously, what caused him to expire was the one to the head. So it leaves open the possibility that, you know, somebody else got grazed him or hit him somewhere with a lower caliber weapon in another area of the body. There was a good portion of his scalp still on. I've got a picture. I can't ever show it here, but I got a picture of him right when they pulled his arm up and turned his face around and took a picture of him. That's where I said he had a instantaneous dental extraction. So anyway, we're going to be finding out more and more analysis, even though they hosed down the roof, even though they did this, even though they did that. The top crime lab in the country is at Quantico Marine Base. Okay. There's a lot of, they can do NASA grade enhancements to audio, all kinds of stuff like that. They can clean up video. They can sharpen up video. Just because there weren't any drones there doesn't mean there were any available satellite footage. There's all kinds of stuff that can be gone through with this situation. We'll have to wait and see. Oh, by the way, not only can they arrest you by the UK extraditing you, you got this thing here. Yellow Flash put this out. He does videos about movies and stuff. You're going to jail. Olympic activist presses charges with haters with Paris police. So they're doing that in France too. I forget this person's name. It was something like, I don't know, a bulldozer or something like that. I forget her name. But she's insulted. I don't know if they would extradite me for doing the thumbnail with Tim's head on her body. But anyway, just to show you that's not just the UK. It's a different different country. France and UK, they've fallen into this dystopian world. Let's see. Shadow of Ezra says the United Kingdom government is threatening to use the full force of the law, including extradition, to imprison Americans for what they post on social media. Ho, ho, ho. This is straight out of 1984. This is when it dawned on me. Now I know why. I've gone from 1,000, 1,200, or 800 views at least per video. Last night was like 500 because I don't have anybody from the UK saying hi to me anymore, or maybe somebody from Canada, but I doubt anybody from Canada in the chats. Anyone want to remind this clown what happened in 1776? He looks like that liberal that was sticking up for Kamala, saying how he was going to call Tim Walz coach from now on. That's the way I'm going to start calling him coach. He reminds me of a nice coach. This guy looks almost exactly like him. You know, and they like their laurels and their epaulets and all this kind of stuff because they're vapid, okay? Vapid. Here we go. This is what I was talking about last night. Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin mandates paper ballots for November election. I saw another article. Did you all see it? I said, oh, boy, Greg Abbott. He made it mandatory that all hospitals in Texas have to turn over records for illegal aliens. And I thought, oh, well, they're going to use that to keep, election fraud from happening, right? Well, maybe not, because they got till November 1st to turn over the records. So I don't know. I don't know what that's about, but it can't be a bad thing. To find out what the hell's going on with your healthcare system, how it's being impacted by these people coming across the border, and who's availing themselves of the services, how many people haven't got services because of overextended healthcare systems being burdened. Are they not just sending their people from their mental institutions? Are they sending people from their cancer wards? Are they sending people over to take the burden off themselves as far as people with serious illness? I say yes. I got 2 different kind of bugs out here I have never seen in my life. And I've said in past broadcasts, I am and certainly was in my ute, and yes, I said ute, a bug expert. I knew everything that crawled and dug and flew and everything. And I got 2 on top of the stink bugs that came around in the late 80s and early 90s. I never saw stink bugs till about 20 years ago, 25 years ago. They came over from South America. A lot of you know what I'm talking about. Now we got 2 different kinds of things. Some people call them jumping spiders, but they're really a type of moth. And some very colorful creatures. On one side, they're brown. The other side, they're very colorful. But anyway, I'll take some pictures of them and I'll tell you, they've been brought up from illegal immigration, right? Infestations. A lot of hotels being put on a lot of pressure. Some of them go out of business because of bed bugs. We didn't have a bed bug problem that was taken care of in the 1960s or 70s. And then 40 years later, bed bug infestations in major hotels all across the country. So, hey, it's an economic burden. People can say I'm being picky or whatever. I don't give a flying damn. But every negative impact should be recorded. Here, Joe, what's going on with Joe? Nick Sortor says, Joe Biden is back on vacation again after having only one public event this week. One. And that was meeting with the Texas Rangers baseball team. And he babbled about something and made a headline about his incompetence. We don't have a precedent. What the hell are we doing? Yeah. Oh, really? You didn't have any lightning bugs? I've always seen lightning bugs. I used to catch them in a jar. $10.20. Your internet connection dropped? Oh, my. MS Motorsports, how you doing? All right, Roland's from Canada. All right. Sandy's from Canada. But my UK people, I haven't seen them. I miss you, honey. Where you at, honey? But anyway, don't take any chances by getting in touch with me if it's going to get you in trouble. Because here's what they do to you. The media over there is just as bad as the media over here. When a Rwandan savagely unalives 3 white kids in England, Mary's side police says, we can confirm that a 17-year-old boy from Banks has been charged with the murder of Bebe King, Elsie Stancombe, and Alicia Da Silva Aguiar. Okay. Humberside police. When a white kid in England protests against Rwandans unaliving white kids, a 15-year-old man, 17-year-old boy who unalives people versus a 15-year-old man who protests, has been arrested on suspicion of violent disorder following a demonstration that took place on Saturday. I think there's been foreign infiltration into the UK government almost as bad as us. This kind of stuff is going to be devastating right here. You won't hear it from CNN. You won't hear it from any of these other, but the Daily Mail. Exclusive. My son, 19, was unalived in Iraq while serving in the military unit. Tim Walsh, quote, abandoned. I'll never trust Kamala Harris's VP pick, who took the coward's way out. And there's a picture of him, young man, 19, my gosh. And I felt bad after I put cowardly liar in my thumbnail last night. I said, man, I'm being too mean. But no, apparently not. Apparently not. Not for this mother at any rate. He deserves to be called what he is. Special counsel. Hunter Biden took $1 million from Romanian oligarch to get U.S. help with legal problems in his country. Rumor has it that the DOJ is preparing potentially charges of bribery against Crooked Joe. His enemies, maybe because of Mr. T repeating that Joe is going to want back in, they may be turning the dogs on Joe because there's plenty of evidence for it. Plenty of evidence. Rudy Giuliani put this book out. The Biden Crime Family. Might be something you want to get. Help Rudy out. The Blueprint for Their Prosecution by Rudy Giuliani. He went over there, got the evidence in hand. And history will show this decrepit state of our news agencies. how you can take a national hero like Rudy Giuliani, America's mayor, an American icon like Donald Trump, and through coordinated messaging and mockingbird media and foreign influence and foreign money, you can slander, libel, prosecute, and potentially jail two of the biggest heroes of this country, Rudy Giuliani and Donald J. Trump. There are many other heroes, okay, but they are undoubtedly long-time icons have been destroyed by a corrupt media and corrupt judiciary. It will amaze children 50 years from now to read about the skullduggery, okay, and the dishonesty of our media. Everything Mayor Giuliani said about the Russian collusion hoax, at Real Donald Trump, the Biden crime family, Hunter's laptop, and the 2020 election has been confirmed and proven to be true. Yet the injustice and lies continue. Okay. And I didn't even know I had this other one here at the bottom. I was trimming it up, and I said, wait a minute, what's this bottom one say? MSN and CNN have prime positions. Pfizer-Ev Forum for the Republican National Convention, while most of the right-leaning conservative networks have been put in entirely separate building. What's that about? MSNBC and CNN have get prime spots to watch the Republican National Convention, but RSBN and Newsmax and Epic Times, I guess, all these other ones are going to be in separate buildings. Who's behind that? I'm glad I kept that. And Tucker Carlson is coming on Truth. Tucker has joined Truth. Welcome him with a follow. Coming soon, preparing on TCN. Join to watch at tucker.com. Where's my chats? Can you all still hear me? Has Mr. T taken the stage yet? Oh, he has? All right, folks. Well, let me see. I'm going to wrap this up with for anybody in case by some miracle there's a new viewer out there who has not seen what they have done and how they have done it. I will play Nancy Pelosi with the wrap-up smear that they've been using against DJT. Hi, Ivan, how you doing? And hit the like button. Yeah. Mary said no. Okay, I won't play Nancy then. Hi, Benjamin. Whoa, what's a holdup for Mr. T? I'll tell you what, I've got another video I'll play instead. And this is in homage and honor of our friends and cousins across the pond. This is a MP, I believe, a member of parliament in Australia that is giving a warning to everybody. And if you haven't heard it, you might want to listen. If you have heard it, you better listen to it again. And I will be going live again. If you're not subscribed, you hit the notification bell. You'll know when I go live. And if you haven't hit the like button, please do so on the way out. And enjoy what this gentleman has to say. I appreciate everybody who's helped me out last month on Buy Me a Coffee. I really do appreciate it. And I'll be going live again probably Sunday night. If we have a big day tomorrow, I might go live tomorrow. And if you hit the notification bell, you will know because they'll tell you. Ha ha ha, they're supposed to anyway. All right, folks, enjoy this little clip. I hope you all have a great evening. Thank you for sharing your precious time with me. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
Klaus Schwab's life by subscription, quote, is really serfdom. It's slavery. Billions of homes, factories, farms, cars, furniture. And everyday citizens will rent what they need, if their social credit score allows. The plan of the Great Reset is that you will die with nothing. We'll need to take more than just material possessions from Australians. Senators in this very chamber today who support the Great Reset threaten our privacy, freedom and dignity. Yes, they're in this Senate chamber. One Nation vehemently opposes the Great Reset, the Digital Identity Bill, theft of agricultural land use, forcing farmers off their land, and all of the Great Reset. One Nation has a comprehensive plan to bring our beautiful country back to sustainable prosperity. And in the months ahead, we will be rolling that plan out. Instead of Lib Lab pushing Klaus Schwab's Great Reset with the tagline, "You will own nothing and be happy," One Nation advocates the Great Resist. We stand for a world where individuals and communities have primacy over predatory globalist billionaires and their quizzling bureaucrats, politicians and mouthpiece media. One Nation accepts the challenge to provide a better future for everyday Australians. We have one flag, we are one community, and we are one nation. Thank you, Madam Acting Deputy President.